We're so organized. We have 4 people in here just looking at each other and counting down. Oh, craps. We've got to turn the lights on. It is the Sports Den. Hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We got a lot to get into today, man. It's kind of a fun weekend, a little bit.
That's what happens when
sports world.
You've also missed like 8,000 days. Or it feels like that when you've had.
We did Wednesday.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's like that's a solid. We missed a whole episode, and we had a weekend that was really just yesterday.
What do you mean?
I mean, we had Thanksgiving, so hopefully you guys, like you said, enjoyed your Thanksgiving. You ate good food. Hopefully your leftovers are in the trash now.
Dude, I crushed ABC though.
Oh, I didn't crush ABC quite, but I did crush like where we had our watch party.
Yeah, Goodfellas.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't even know. I think I'm gonna take the video. I think Miles got video of me pronouncing it first. I'm gonna test that on social media.
Pronouncing what?
The Japanese whiskey that I drank.
Oh,
you probably shouldn't pronounce it.
No, I'm not. Didn't he a State Farm agent? What? Remember that commercial?
Right.
Can we get David Lamb to do a read?
Right. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm not sure. Like, it's amazing though, but it was really good. But you got to enjoy it and move around. You know how you get good stuff?
Yeah.
And it's smooth and it sneaks up on you. I was sitting down and then I got up and yeah.
Well, I was telling, I forget who else. Oh, I was telling Scott. I was like, the issue at Goodfellas is those chairs are so comfortable that you don't realize, like, you've been sitting there for a while, like you said, drinking. And I don't even know how much I drank. I just know it was entirely too much the entire weekend. Most of it was from ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Make sure you get to ABC. Locations all over Florida. If you're in Florida, if you're outside of Florida, when you come down here, get to ABC. They will hook you up. Miles, that chair is like, you may want to be careful how you leaning on that. You were like sloped like you were going down turn 3 at Daytona. But a lot to get into, man. It's I don't know how you start anywhere else but Lincoln Riley right now.
Don't bury the lead.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley, man. Dude. Lincoln Riley leaves Oklahoma.
I like that he didn't lie.
He did lie. Don't because the LSU thing.
They asked him a specific question. They didn't say, Coach, are you going to be with Oklahoma? What happened? This is where
it's like your wife asking if you slept with this one girl.
Specifically, yeah. She didn't say, have you cheated on me or have you slept with other women? She say, tell me, are you sleeping with Tracy? And you're like, no, I'm not sleeping with Tracy.
But then he followed it up with the you guys know me. You guys know how I feel about Oklahoma. Like he expanded past the I'm not going to coach at LSU.
Right. Like I think here's why I feel bad for Oklahoma fans, kind of. Not really, because it's the business. And you guys don't feel bad about recruits when people get screwed over. I've seen the people shooting shots at them. Media, if you would do your job, you would know that he was open for the U. I didn't know.
Man,
I don't cover Oklahoma.
You can't put this on the media.
I'm saying you would have known. The question that I would have asked is Coach Riley, and this would have made prep people better. Coach Riley, are you seriously? The media reports are saying that you have already accepted the job in Baton Rouge. Have you accepted this job or any other job else?
I don't know that. You think you'd have said that? You think you'd have asked that?
Now I would. Now you would have better. Now you would really have. Now he's a true liar if he said no. I haven't, or actually he could have spent that. I have accepted no job.
Man,
correct. He hasn't accepted any job.
The reason I feel bad for Oklahoma fans in this,
right?
It's because it's obvious this has been done for 2 months because USC hasn't talked about anybody else.
Right.
Like there's been no rumors. It's like you almost forget USC was even open. They had this deal done since October without a doubt.
Which is what and this isn't bad because obviously he lost and that he lost his luster, but you were thinking Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
Not the only person.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was talking about James Franklin. I mean, also people all over the place. Everybody except for Middle America, somebody in Middle America. And it just shows how a really big boy program, no matter what they've lost or won recently, like this, they feel like they're a big boy program. They're running it properly. There are no leaks. We all found out at the exact same time.
And it was so shocking you verified the blue check mark.
When the first person released it, everybody was like, nah, can't be. I'll wait till I hear some other credible ones say.
I have no, like, I mean, USC, that's a pimp move. Like, that's really well done. If I'm an Oklahoma fan, I am livid at this because it also is fairly obvious that he was telling recruits what was going on. Because, bro, they straight dropped the Miami God's plan like in a heartbeat.
You know what? I think he might have told them with enough time. Just think about what other 18-year-old is keeping this secret. Like this. That's a bombshell, man.
Man.
What I think is that people need to, maybe this could finally open people's eyes that nobody really gives a damn about your university. You may like the university and be proud. Don't get me wrong. Oklahoma probably has a great education. But I hear this all the time. They fall in love with the people who are recruiting them. Ain't nobody it just makes common sense. Guys from the West Coast already committed to Oklahoma. The guy who got him to commit to Oklahoma goes back to the West Coast.
Oh, I'm not even talking about Malachi.
It was like 4 guys.
Well, one of them's from Jacksonville.
No, he decommitted. Yeah, I got that. But I'm saying, like, all their West Coast guys immediately got crystal balls from Oklahoma to USC.
I would be a little angry if I was an Oklahoma fan.
Angry because of this in general.
Oh no, I'd be angry at Lincoln.
I'm saying be angry at Lincoln in general. Like, it doesn't matter. He's leaving you, and you're not a bad program. You're not even you're not a top 30 program. You are. No, what I'm saying is that's why you should be mad. You are a top program.
Oh, I got you. I thought you were saying. I thought you were telling Oklahoma they're not. A top 30.
No, you're not a program that people go to leave. And on top of that, what's my guy's name in Michigan? Harbaugh said this quote, and I thought it was a great quote, and it's going to be great for their rivalry. I'm finding out that that's more like I've known it was a rivalry, but I didn't know it was like
Michigan Ohio State.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. It's great. I love it. I love it for this. Some people are born on third base and think that they hit a triple, and that's very true. It's not saying he's not a capable coach, but it was kind of already built, but Herbs really solidified that, handed it off to who he needs to. Same thing with Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma.
But have we ever seen a coach leave and without even like the clock striking midnight, your major recruits all just bowed out like that? Like usually I'm sure he told them, there's some news dropping. Like, he probably texted them at 8 a.m. group chat. Hey, big news dropping. I'm out. And the one thing I'll say this is it wasn't that if it was like different edits made by different people, it was all made by Hayes Foster on 3. And it was the exact same thing. It was like apparently, like, obviously, like, and they were throwing money all kinds of ways into this game. So like they got a stat. Like, it ain't like so Malachi Nelson is I think
so unless you know something I don't know.
I think the top quarterback in the country first class. Other people will tell you Arch Manning. I think it's Malachi.
I don't like Arch.
I've been talking about Malachi since he was like in 8th grade with I sent James a picture of Malachi like skying over me when he was in 8th grade.
Is that one? That's one of the that was at that camp?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like, he's different because Malachi lives in LA. Right. So I get that. Like, okay, I was going to go to Oklahoma and the coach left and he's coming to my backyard. So, yeah, you know what? I'm out. The other kids that, like, here in Jacksonville and other places
out of Miami, I don't think that they're going, though. I just think
I don't either. That's what I'm saying. It's like it is salt in the wound. It's like it's the old thing. Do you want to rip the Band-Aid off? And they have ripped it off at Oklahoma. Like, Oklahoma went from every year, for the next 5 years, they were going to be competitive, for the national championship race to, oh crap. Like, are we going to go back to being a middle of the road team like we were before Lincoln or before Bob Stoops got there? Because they went through a whole Nebraska period in kind of a way. So, and is it true that Bob Stoops is coaching the bowl game? Is that true?
No, that's true.
That may be even wilder. None of these kids know Bob Stoops.
I think they know him from TV. Has he been on? It's been that long. Yeah.
Yeah, that's even like they don't have any able bodies on that staff that they're going to go call Bob Stoops.
You know what they're about to become? And I know people hate me. Kansas State. Remember when Kansas State, like they fought, like my man stepped down, the old guy, to let somebody else take it, fired him, brought it back, and then got him back winning again. And it's just been kind of like that since. Nebraska, I guess, did that when Nebraska fired
Osborne.
It's a wild situation. But it's
got Miami and Coker. Like, I mean, there you could go back and you know that we're gonna get to Florida in a second, but you could go back through all these programs' histories that have rich histories and find where that grass wasn't greener, and it sets you back a long time. USC is not that. USC didn't have a choice. Right. I mean, they got the band put on them by Pete Carroll, so that they're not really in that situation.
They've also been firing their coach for quite some time. Like it just feels like, and he kind of like just does enough to get back, and it was just like they had to get rid of him early, just so that just in case he lucked into some big wins. And like I said, I think it was a pimp move, but I think what's pimper. I don't even know if that's a proper way to say it.
We need t-shirts.
Is that what I believe that this does for the rest of the college football landscape is it's Oregon is a good job with the right person, with a guy who really is an offensive mind, a guy who really does love recruiting. A guy who's really going to put the work in and do those things. Is not the job for when a guy who has had a first round talent at quarterback at Justin Herbert that woke up, and you're recruiting well because the powerhouse that is in California is dead, and they've had a lame duck coach forever, and they don't have an offensive mind genius there or a guy who loves recruiting, who's very organized in recruiting. Because the one thing I've heard about Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley's recruiting is that it is clean, crisp, organized. When they did the
it was literally modeled after Clemson.
Right. When they did the when everybody had to do the Zoom call recruiting things, like it was 3D virtual tours with.
Well, you saw the picture of his office,
right? Well, the only thing I don't like, the only thing he needs to get a hold on is, and this is Dan Mullen-esque. Now his plate was that dry ass brisket that he made. Like it needs some. It looked like my man was eating tree bark.
If you haven't seen, Google Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma office. Like this is
really nice.
It's unreal. Like I would live in that office, but it's also like. They use it to walk. Remember, we saw that picture. They're like walking fans through as part of the tour, which is a little weird, a little creepy. But what is USC? Because USC is playing in literally 100-year-old stadium, right? I mean, you see the pictures of them when they're not good with 10,000 people in the stands. I know they're in LA. I get that. But are they? I mean, is it? I guess the job is as good as the coach that you can get. I guess that's the reality of it. And you got a top 5 coach. So you've got to be a top 5 job right now. But how are USC's facilities outside of you never hear anything about USC.
I don't know. It's like they're out on the west. All I know is that maybe Oklahoma State has outspent and they have a guy. They know he's not going anywhere.
Right.
At worst, like ain't because don't nobody else want Gundy. And Gundy just like he's going to become the logo eventually.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. Yep.
He'll be as much of Oklahoma State as T. Boone Pickens is. LA or California, huge state. Stanford, kids don't wake up on the West Coast wanting to go to Stanford.
Smart kids
do, or they'll go to Cal. But like everywhere you go in the state, it's USC. Like they are the premier school in one of the most rich hotbeds. It's not like the state of Florida, which has just many talented guys, but you've had growing up, there's 3 universities. Florida had the opportunity to do that if they would have caught on maybe in the 70s, 80s, a little bit more and not let Florida State have their run, not let Miami come in and get their run. And now kids in Miami grow up, okay, I want to represent the crib. Everywhere else is splitting. In Cali, they get their first pick even when they're down. Like if you go back and look at their recruiting classes, no matter what, year in and year out, people want to go there. It's the premier school on the West Coast, and they're gonna be able to dip into Las Vegas. And they're a national. When Pete Carroll got there, he made them into like what the Southern schools have been doing for years. Yep. We're gonna protect our backyard, and we're gonna go to the Tampa area and get a Mike Williams. We're gonna go get a couple guys. I remember when I came out, Pat Watkins and a couple of the Tallahassee guys actually went on visits to USC. And at the time, I was like, USC ain't been good since forever. Why are you going out there? But they're going with Lincoln Riley and his idea how to make offense, to play offense in that conference.
Yeah. No, you're right. Man, no, you're right. You're right.
You're bringing Grinch with you who understands how to recruit out that way. Like I'm not. It's just weird. It's just college football is wild, bro. Like college football, just the whole premise of college football is wild. And it's a thing where if you're winning, you're going to be treated like a celebrity.
Oh, I'll bet if USC gets back to national championship level, they probably they'd be more popular than either NFL team,
right?
Without question in LA. They're probably only behind the Dodgers and the Lakers as far as celebrity and sports celebrity in LA.
True.
Like that was the same thing when Jalen Ramsey went out there. I remember you and I having the conversation of it's kind of a silly move because it doesn't matter how good you are, you're never going to jump ahead of the Lakers players, the Dodgers players, and the USC players if they're good. Like you're going to be small fish, big pond. But USC does, for whatever reason, have that ability. Reggie Bush was the biggest thing in LA. Matt Leinart was the biggest thing in LA at the time. So it'll be interesting. Just the whole sport, man, it's just when you look at this weekend and everything that happened, and now we've got a college football playoff getting ready to be selected after next weekend, that who the hell knows? Like what in the world is going to happen? The Iron Bowl was wild. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched. I was able to watch the last couple.
I physically hurt for Auburn fans because you knew it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like they knew it was going to happen.
You know what that argument, like what that game just completely shuts down? Because that last play, you know what it was. Oh no, the play to tie it up. It's 5-star to 5-star.
Yeah.
You can have all the 3 stars with heart that you want. 5 stars are 5. Most 5 stars are 5 stars for a reason. And when you put the 5 stars around other motivated 5 stars and a sprinkle of 4-star every now and then,
with Nick Saban,
with the 2-star that just happens to rise up because he's around a bunch of 5 stars, with the GOAT, like it doesn't matter what the situation is, you're going to lose if you don't take them out,
dude. I don't care about either team, but I'm sitting there watching that. And you knew right when it went to overtime.
Yeah, I was like it's over.
This is a wrap.
They had their chance.
I'm just in there watching that. And I'm thinking about all these Auburn people. And it's like, golly, college football sucks. Like these people like went from the highest of highs, bragging for the next 364 days, to literally ashamed to wear the logo for a minute. Like you everything got taken from them in 5 minutes.
You literally could have been the person to save college football, but you didn't. They could have, because Saban's getting tired.
I don't know, man.
This is the first year Saban's letting little shit get to him. Like fans, he's like, because they're asking him stupid questions, and he has the right to. Like, I've never seen him like get this mad. Like, Coach Saban, what do you say about letting that team get that field goal in the last 3 minutes? You mean to tell me you want me to? A team played perfect, and you want me to like bash them and ridicule them after in a blowout, or going in and talking about these different things? And like if they would have gone ahead and got that win, and then Kirby could have stuck the fork in them, and that would have been a 3-loss. Like the Alabama fan base would probably be as irrational as every other fan base. They're already saying stupid stuff.
Yeah, no, they've been talking about getting rid of Saban. There's been little pockets talking about that for 5 years.
Yeah, which I still don't understand.
It's crazy. But I watched that game, and it's like all of a sudden I went from Georgia by 1 million to, it is Nick Saban.
Well, it's Nick Saban.
Like, I mean,
there's
all of a sudden
the fights are about matchups as much as
if
they are
the
about
quarterback
records.
is as important as we all say it is,
they got a better quarterback.
They got a million times better quarterback. Like if that truly is what football revolves around, then we'll find out this Saturday. But then you go to like where we were at. You sit there and you watch Florida State. I got to be honest with you, dude. At the end of it, I didn't care who won. That was one of the ugliest freaking football games. And I felt like I had just taken 5 hours out of my day to watch a JV high school game.
That was nice.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, it was. I knew the game was basically done when Jordan Travis landed on the shoulder bad.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and here's what fans, FSU fans in particular, I just need y'all to shut up. Florida fans, do your thing. Y'all happy you got Billy Napier now, and I'm happy for you. You won, but I don't care. Again, numerous times Mike's been on the show. I've had Dillingham on the show, like all of those guys. No Dugan almost my whole life. Odell too. But this is what happened, man. It was a crappy game.
Mm-hmm.
We lost to a team who had a quarterback throw three interceptions in the first half. We only managed 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
Forget that.
Against the defense who gave up 50 against Stanford.
Forget that for a second. Because this is where it really bothers me. A defensive coordinator who wasn't the defensive coordinator all year and has a grand total of 2 games calling defenses.
To my Florida, yeah.
In Christian Ramos.
Yep. Good guy.
Yeah, but phenomenal.
Good guy.
Good guy. You have an offensive coordinator.
Oh, boy.
Who was hear me out, a defensive analyst last year. Like,
I didn't think you thought this through.
No, I had to. Because a guy who I respect tremendously in writing, Ira Schofel,
mm-hmm.
put up, people keep saying that they were coachless. And I think that's not. And then he put up all of McGee's. Well, McGee used to be a head coach somewhere. He was an offensive coordinator. I said he was not involved in the offensive game planning at all the last 2 years. He was a defensive analyst, not a coach. He was an analyst that got moved to quarterback coach, and the quarterbacks completely reverted, got worse. I said, there's not a Florida fan in the nation that said, woo, we're going to be okay because McGee is calling goddamn plays. Matter of fact, every Florida fan just knew it was going to be an ass whipping because McGee was calling plays. Matter of fact, the only reason that Dan Mullen wasn't fired earlier was because he was the only person on staff who had play calling abilities.
Mm-hmm. Well,
never mind that.
Capabilities. About abilities.
Never mind that. You got a wide receiver coach who's been coaching for 30 fucking years and nobody's made an offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. Fired O-line coach.
The offensive line hasn't been coached in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dog, you have 10 coaches. They have 7.
You really thought through this.
What I'm saying is like the game planning and perspective. Now
you're making me feel better because about how ugly it was. I'll be honest.
In Florida, it should have been ugly and you should have lost. But I'm not saying that from a privilege. You should have. Like the fact that you won is a feather in the cap to the amount of talent. Because I do believe overall, top to bottom, Florida's roster is more talented than FSU.
It's not even close.
But the point is that you had that's just not a good look. This was a layup. This was the reason why Florida State fans would have been more or should have been more proud is because they would have been in the bowl and you would have fought your way out from 0-4. But when you look at the Jacksonville State loss, you look at this loss, you played the worst Clemson team that they've had in a decade. You've played, this isn't a talented North Carolina State team. They're better.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a world-beating North Carolina State team. They don't have 4 first-round draft picks on the D-line. They got 2 of our players from last year's team that beat you by 14 that you should have beat if you weren't doing the Make-A-Wish thing. Make-A-Wish kid thing. And no offense, congratulations, Mackenzie Milton, but You knew when you said you didn't want to go in against UMass that my leg ain't got it. And I think that was admirable. You had Notre Dame beat, questionable calls. It's okay to go back and step back and look at it. And when you look at those losses, it ain't the players, dog. It's the going for it on your own 35 when everybody complains about your defensive coordinator being suspect. So you put them in a worse situation and you blame analytics. Common sense tells you flip the field. You got time against Clemson. You got time. Even in this game, it shouldn't have come down to a freaking missed onside kick because you had 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the game. You could have kicked a field goal, and you would, even if you would have missed the onside kick, you still had all your timeouts. You could have maybe given yourself a chance with 30 seconds. And in college football, with the time stopping on first downs, 30 seconds can be an eternity.
Yeah,
it's just like it's accumulation. Yes, players didn't step up when they needed to step up. Coaches sometimes did not help. The overall situation, maybe it would have been cool to get 15 extra practices for a bowl game. But it's disappointing because I called 8 wins, and I think we should have got 8 wins. 8 total with the bowl game. So 7 regular season. But
you got 5.
We got 5. But when you look at a Jacksonville State loss, nobody picked us to really beat North Carolina. Nobody picked us to beat Miami. So you picked up 2 games you shouldn't have lost. And if you just play Jordan Travis against Louisville, he had the flu against North Carolina State, so you couldn't help.
Well, let me play devil's advocate with you because it's a tale of 2 seasons, and I'll give you the Florida game. That was just a weird game. In fact, like if you didn't watch the game and all you saw was the onside kick that the kid literally missed the entire ball on,
like Charlie Brown,
then that's the entire game. That's what the whole game looked like,
right?
Like, see that there's never been a game end more appropriately than that. I'm sitting there with Florida State fans, and we're all just laughing together at that point.
Right.
At that point, it's just like, can we just end this? Like, this is terrible. But to play devil's advocate, you mentioned y'all started out 0-4. You finished out 5-2.
Oh,
like
yeah.
What I'm saying is, like,
happy about,
what I'm saying is, we say this all the time about multiple things can be true.
Right.
You let some get away, but I don't think anybody would argue you're headed in the right direction after 4 years to 5 years going in the wrong direction.
The problem is that, one, it was a weird year in college football.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was weird if we won those 5 games because of that, or if it was just weird and we got that because Clemson played better toward the end.
Yeah, they did.
I've never seen Clemson play that bad before.
Yeah.
I doubt they play that bad next year.
Yeah.
You caught lightning in a bottle with Jermaine Johnson, who's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, you gotta, like, that's a lot to pray for.
Did he make a play on Saturday?
Yeah,
by
he got
the
a
way?
sack.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. But he wasn't as, the guy who's now in the transfer portal for Florida. Actually did
I just didn't remember hearing his name.
Yeah, he wasn't as effective. Like, they got close. They kept when they put Anthony in, it's a complete difference when he climbs that pocket.
Yeah.
Than when Emory does. Kier Thomas is gone. Like, that's production that you have had. Now, if you hit in the portal and somebody gives you a fraction of what they gave you, you're still okay. Like, that was like, we haven't had that in years. But that's also goes to my point. You hit. When Jordan Travis,
but I think you can kind of count on that each year right now in the portal. There's enough guys, enough good players, enough evaluation, enough resources going in.
We'll see. I would love,
you know what I mean? Like, not to that degree, not to a kid who's going to end up being first, second day draft.
Right.
But to guys who make a difference for 3 or 4 wins, I think you can do that in the portal.
I mean, like, we'll see. Like, I think Jordan Travis getting healthy and getting bigger gives you like a full season of Jordan Travis without having any hiccups. Probably gives you your 7 wins.
I want to see Dillingham. I'm not calling you a liar, Mike. I'm not calling you a liar. I want to see how committed they truly are to Jordan when the names that I'm hearing.
Well, they're already
going to hit the portal.
They already just said, like, somebody reported that they're going to go see a grad transfer quarterback.
Dude, Dylan Gabriel, if he wants to come to Tallahassee, you that committed?
Man, listen, this is no knock on Dylan Gabriel.
No, you take him on a heartbeat, bro.
Bro, he has a messed up throwing shoulder.
He's already throwing.
Yes, you know who else they said was already throwing at this point?
Nah, dude, trust me on this.
He beat out the
clean break. Like,
okay, fine, I'm with you, but if you're gonna bring me somebody, there's plenty of quarterbacks with 2 legs and 2 arms that are going to be in this transfer portal that are healthy.
Well, like, I just use this as an example. I'm just saying, like, if to piggyback off what you were saying with Jordan, I think he's good. I think he's a good player. But are you that committed that you're going to say no to some of these cats?
Here's what I want. If it's a 1-year fix guy, no, I don't want them.
It doesn't have to be. A lot of these guys not dealing with
if they have multiple years, you take them. You know why you take them? Because you missed on Chuba and you missed on tape. Like, you need a guy to be in their position for when, because no matter what, if it's not exponentially better next year, and it's all love. It's just like, dude, like, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta
next year is last year anyway?
No, I think he has the COVID.
Good grief.
Gives him another year.
Dude, I saw Jake Bentley
still playing.
Wrote a big thank you letter. I'm like, this dude has been playing for 8 years.
Yeah, he's still
apparently he was playing at like UAB or something. Because he went from South Carolina, where he seems like he played 7 years,
right,
to Utah,
right,
to UAB.
That's wild.
Like,
but like they
I think he was like Muschamp's original class.
That's crazy. It's just, you know, I think if you can get the right transfer quarterback at Florida State, you got to take him no matter what. But what you do need, and this is what I was trying to tell everybody, you saw the game, and it made me think about conversations that I've had. They say you get a better quarterback, right? Who the hell are you throwing to? Yeah. Guys can't beat the one time we beat man coverage was an incredible one-handed catch on the sideline.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Like the other time, Jordan actually threw a really good back shoulder jump ball for your 7th-year senior transfer that was brought here to go and get that bitch. He got boxed out and then let a freshman, even though it wasn't an interception, doesn't matter. Yep. Should have never been that close. Like, you just don't have guys to like sit there and beat that. So bring in Tom Brady if you want. But like, if the guys just aren't getting separation, you can't throw it. Because I was sitting there, I don't know if you remember at the thing, like my friend Sam is like, you got to get rid of the ball. To who, Sam? Who is he gonna throw it to? Who was open? Like, I always just tell people, like, I'm a logical person. If you say it's there, present me the facts or the information so that I can change my mind. He needs to get rid of it quicker. Show me who he would have thrown it to on that play. Circle it. Yeah. Who would you throw to?
Yeah.
And then you know what happens? Then they shift the argument. My point is, get competition. I don't want a guy who runs away from competition, because that's not how you get your program better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we need more competition across the offensive line, in the receiver room. And it's not even a lot. Like, if you can find the Jermaine Johnson at wide receiver, that would make your other receivers that much better, because you got some guys that are really good 2 and 3 second and third options. They're just not number 1 guys. And something I do want to ask, Dilly, it's like, I don't like, your running backs are so good catching the ball out the backfield. The thing that Florida, like, we ended up doing it once, wheel route, basically a trail route with their linebackers. Like, I know it's not, I think you can't hit it all the time.
So tricky for Florida State.
Yeah, I
right
get
now,
it. I get it.
That's
true too. That's true too.
I mean, to your point, when you look at that team, that's what you're saying, because, and it's been said to us all year, there's such a deficiency over not just what Florida State used to be, but to who they're playing against week after week.
But then
it's tough. It's tough.
But then I just, like, again, like,
does that deficiency exist at Florida right now? Like,
I think
take me through Billy Napier. Like, so Billy Napier is going to be hired. We're hearing, We got to get to executive
health.
Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa. Yeah, my bad. Make sure you get over there. First year is coming up. You still feel like crap. You've been feeling like crap for years. We're telling you how to feel better. Get to Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa. Maybe you just need some testosterone. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all you need, and be a great 2022. Is that where we're headed for you? That's wild. Get to Executive Health and Med Spa. Let them take care of you. Billy Napier is walking in, I think, to a decent situation. I don't think he's walking into what Willie and Norvell walked into in Tallahassee, personally, because you have your quarterback. Like that's the first thing. You have that guy. You have some talent defensively. You have some talent. Really, you have enough talent all over that if you can find a couple of portal guys. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go compete with Georgia next year, but you're also 7-5 shouldn't be the deal either. Like you're walking into a 9-3 football team, I think, if you're Billy Napier. And if what we're hearing is true on the offensive coordinator side, you probably can go get a couple transfer portal guys. That'll help right away. So I think all in all, when you look at this, and let's just say Billy Napier was wanted at LSU too. I think LSU, I think Florida right now is the place that you're in the East and not the West. There's a decent amount of talent there. They've won recently, right? So there's kids that know how to win on there or used to winning. I think it can be a fairly quick turnaround. I'm not saying that because of Billy Napier. I don't know anything about him. I'm saying that because don't buy into the, yes, you got to give everybody time, but this is not the same situation that Taggart and Norvell walked into. It's not. This is a much better situation, and you're opening a new facility. All those things, man, makes this a pretty good job, and I think the expectation should be fairly similar for Napier as what they were for Mullen going into this year.
I think you're right, because like the last two coaches, I mean, it's easy to say McElwain inherited a 4-win team. But when you go back and you look at the 4-1 team and inherited, been really good recruiting, and there was a lot of injuries at some key positions. So he won very quick. Then his last year, besides again fan interference and his arrogance with saying I can get my dog can coach quarterbacks, but he had recruited pretty well. They had some major injuries that year, and then you fired him in the middle of the season, and then that's what happened. Then he goes to Mullen, and those guys are healthy, and you went out the gate. I think kind of similar, but I'll be honest, he's not getting as much as Mullen got because Mullen didn't recruit as well. But where he did recruit well is you got Ant, but you also have better trench play, because where they have done pretty good is getting 4-star and 5-star offensive defensive line.
I think you're going to lose some of those. I think a lot of those came for Hevesy.
Now, this is big right here, is that team that did play Florida State, that 1 and 2 deep roster was heavy juniors and seniors. Like there were sophomores and freshmen that were sprinkled in, but there was a good amount of guys there that either can't come back or you got to convince to come back. So where Florida fans do have to be patient is that he's, from what I'm hearing, he's not bringing in guys who, it's not that they can't recruit. It's that they're really good at development.
Right.
If he's able to get some of the guys on defensively, like everybody saw Knowles, the Oklahoma State defensive coordinator, Belk, the Houston DC, there's supposed to be a co-DC situation. But if that doesn't happen, you'll have an NFL D-line coach right now, currently, that has the ability to coach linebackers, and probably arguably one of the best D-line coaches in the nation from up in Pitt. It's supposed to be some of the guys that I'm hearing are going to shape up that defensive staff. All he has relationships with, because most of them coached at Bama together.
Right.
That's tough. Now, if he can bring those guys in and they can take what they got, come up and scheme it up real good to get you 8 wins, him being able to come in with the organization that he brings can get them on the right track.
But I think you said the biggest difference though, and I'm not tooting his horn because I don't know anything about him, but the biggest difference in him and Mullen and McElwain is he's got 15. He's got the quarterback. Neither one of them did.
Yeah.
I mean, McElwain had Treon. Think about that. Mullen had Felipe, right? if you've got the quarterback, you're a step ahead of where any of these situations. They didn't have it at Florida State at the time. Right. None of these coaches that went in and that didn't have success, all of them were starting fresh at quarterback. He's not. And, I haven't talked to Anthony since the other day, but I can't imagine a situation where he leaves at this point.
I mean, he can't. At work, not now. At worst, like you're going to get. You knew you were getting somebody good anyway. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's Billy Napier. You got to go and feel it out for the spring. And if you like it, which you should, because you're gonna get all the reps.
You should. Yeah.
They're not bringing in. Well, they have their one quarterback. I don't know if he's an early enrollee or not, and I don't even know if he wants them.
And that's where this is going to get interesting, because Billy Napier, from what I've found out the last couple of days, he played quarterback in college. I think Furman. Apparently, there's several quarterbacks already committed to other schools that really like Billy Napier, who are pretty good players. So the big question right now is, does he keep the Nick Evers kid who Mullen loved, or does he reverse course and say, no, I'm going to bring in one of my guys who's a 4 or 5 star as well? The last time this happened with a coach, I just want everybody to understand this, was Mullen made that decision. Mullen said, I don't want the guy that you have committed. That guy's Matt Corral. Matt Corral was committed to Florida when Mullen was hired. Mullen basically said, I don't want him. Now, he said he didn't want him for some of the right reasons. I know the story behind that. And there were some legitimate reasons why he kind of backed off of him. But it's still Matt Corral, who's probably going to be the first quarterback taken this year.
Yeah. Matt Corral also was like a 5-star. Like he was like that guy when he got when they did have him.
I mean, Nick Evers is a 4-star.
Yeah, he's a
but he ain't Matt Corral.
And this is no disrespect, but he's a 4-star in the way that I can't think of my guy's name. You're Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Jeff.
Like Jeff was a 3-star, got to 4-star, and then when it was all said and done, they bumped him back down. I'm not saying it's gonna happen in it. Yeah, he ended up being a 3-star. That was, trust me, I know, because that's the whole. So because Chubba got past him toward the end. That's really the scarier part. Mike was at Memphis. Chubba was committed to a Power 5 school in Louisville. You knew that was your reach goal. Mm-hmm. That was the girl that you said you wanted to ask out to prom, but you ain't got no car. Now you go. Now it's a used Corvette, but you got the vet now, and the dude that she with ain't got no vet. He got a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
So like you go up and you flex it because you have a chance to get her now, and so you did that, and then to find out that her breath stank. I don't know if Chubba's breath stinks.
Well, there's
I don't mean anything by it, but he's no longer with Florida State.
There's a kid committed to LSU right now who's a 5-star.
Okay.
Who apparently Napier has some type of connection with. The kid retweeted the Napier hire.
Now that's how you'll get it.
Yeah.
Is you not there's only 2 schools you can poach from right now. One coach is already poaching from that school because he has the inside track on you.
Yeah.
You got to get LSU. You're not getting the quarterback or whoever that Georgia wants. Like you're not getting whoever Alabama wants, and I don't know who those guys want. You're not beating Clemson. Those guys they're established. They're in there. You got to go somewhere where there's more chaos.
Yeah.
Which I'm shocked that's all the chaos. It was good.
What
I just thought it would have been more.
What are you gonna do?
So LSU. So here's what I want to say about the Big Three that we've learned. We love our football. Our football has storied history. Our football is up and coming Power 5 coach come to and give it the resources and hope they bring you and grow you back to prominence. It doesn't work for us to go grab. When we go grab the Power 5 guy, it don't work for us. And we're not getting, well, Billy Napier might have been the first choice this time, which nothing wrong with that. But we're not getting, we ain't going to get in Lincoln.
Right.
Like that's just where we're at right now. Wake the hell up, put the resources in them, start having crowds like Nebraska when you have 3 wins, and then that's the fastest way to get yourself fast track. LSU is learning that you are what you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're a good job. You're just not that good. Like the days of you picking a guy, beating up, bullying a Power 5 school to get a coach was Nick Saban in what seemed 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But Michigan State was okay. That's a lifetime job. Actually, the game is well changed. Like what people are seeing is that, and this should never be true. Well, definitely in your situation right now. If I'm a school in the West, even though I think it's foolish, like, because it's fun, especially when they keep bringing up the Sumlin and Fisher records.
Yeah.
I think it's foolish to pay him that kind of money. If he wants to leave. But I'm not saying like you'll get better, but what I'm saying is like you're paying a guy $10 million, what you paid a guy $3 million to do. But right now, consistency is just riding this wave through. Keep building. You got to get the Saban wave has got to go. Like, you're not really going to win a championship outside of luck.
What's a better job, Oklahoma or LSU?
Oklahoma. And here's why. It's the same reason.
You would take Oklahoma?
No. Actually, now that I think about it,
I would not take LSU.
No, I'm going to tell you why. Because now, I forgot. Oklahoma's going to the SEC.
Yeah.
So, no, LSU is a better job because they're more built for what's going to happen in the SEC. But before that, if they were in the Big 12, I'd say Oklahoma's a better job. Like for the reason why Lincoln Riley didn't go there. So our boy Matt Hayes put a statement. It's asinine to think that Lincoln Riley ran from the SEC to go to USC. It's a better job. And I said, two things could be true at the same time.
Right.
Why would I go to the SEC when I'm going to have to go to the West and I got to see Saban, a great recruiting Jimbo Fisher, who may not ever win it, but just as good recruiting. Arkansas as much. They're not
middle of the road is not a guaranteed win.
They're not a dumpster fire anymore. Lane is still at Ole Miss.
Leach can dial it up.
And then, oh God, that's just my side of it. I have to play those guys. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm going to have to play Florida every year.
Yep.
I'm going to have to play Georgia every odd year or something like that. Kentucky's over there, and they're not. They're better than. Whereas,
you're right.
But when you go to USC, if you beat Oregon, really the only team on your schedule right now is Oregon.
Yeah.
If you get
Notre Dame.
Well, yeah, Notre Dame. But you're right. Yeah. Notre Dame every year, but it's an easier path. Automatic playoff tie-in if you win it out. Prestigious university. You're going to be primetime every week if you're good.
I think that's where I was going. Like in the old days, the good old days of college football 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if you were LSU, you could just go flex on everybody and say every one of our games at night's on national TV and we can pay you more. That's not true anymore. Mm-mm. Michigan State's paying $95 million to their coach. Like, you don't have that anymore. So now it's like you're in a room and everybody looks the same. What do you actually bring to the table? Because these coaches you're not going to pay them a lot more than what they're making now. In fact, a lot of coaches are opting for the quality of life thing. We're seeing it with Fickle. We saw it with Hugh Freeze. We're seeing that type of stuff there because they're still making $5-6 million a year. Your logo doesn't matter as much anymore as what it used to. It matters more to fans than it does to coaches at this point.
Because again,
recruiting bases are still important, but they're not as important.
You also know that you'll get, like, if I'm Fickle and I'm at Cincinnati, say you offer me 8 to come, and I'm making, and Cincinnati says we'll give you 6. Mm-hmm. I know I can make that 8 in 3 years. Mm-hmm. They're gonna give me that. They're gonna give me what I want, and we'll be in the Big 12 by then. So now we're getting an influx of money, and I know what I can demand. Or I could go make the lateral move to Ohio State if I want to go, but I'm gonna stay in the region that I'm accustomed to right now. Those are the things. Like, it's just you have to really. I think fan bases need to. And it's tough to ask this. I've always said this, but I get why you don't. But your wallet needs to match your fandom and your craziness. And I don't mean for you to pay the coach, because you can't pay the coach. But again, you want to draw somebody to come in and take the risk. It needs to look like that risk is going to be well rewarded. When Nebraska when he finally fails, when they're done with the Frost experiment, which I told them would fail from jump, and I'm going to take nothing against Frost personally, but I'm going to take a little enjoyment in that. they have everything to recruit the next guy. Like, and it's been shown on display. We are loyal. We will be loyal to you. In fact, give us half a little piece of hope and we'll extend your contract. You got the facilities and you know every game is going to be sold out. Recruits are going to come here. It's going to feel a little warm inside because it's cold as hell outside, but you're going to have 100-something thousand or whatever they seat in the stadium to keep you warm. Like, I'm just using them as an example. But like LSU, like you ran out. Here's what happened. You ran out a guy that you probably didn't necessarily like from jump, and I get it. But you did the same thing to the previous guy in Les Miles. Les Miles was fired like through social media. Like
he would have been fired later anyway.
Right. What I'm saying, he was fired.
Yeah.
Before we knew about the extracurricular stuff, for them to have to come back, and that guy still did his job to be fired the next year, and he won you a national championship. This guy is a few years removed from a national championship. Don't care how he got it. Don't care if he had the best OC, best DC. He got it.
What program doesn't do that?
In 3 years?
What? But seriously, what program? I mean,
no. Florida would never.
Florida has fired back-to-back coaches after an appearance in the SEC championship.
Appearance in the conference championship game that we knew they weren't going to win.
On some level, everybody's doing this with the exception of Alabama.
But Florida's doing it because, well, I got to go back-to-back, and I got to go to one. Mm-hmm. Now, those guys also completely, truly shut down.
No, they did. Yeah.
Here's a guy who really you fired him because of new pussy. That's why. And he's reckless. I'll give you that. You didn't fire him, and it looked like it was bad, but his guys played for him all the way through and got you bowl eligible.
I'm not saying LSU specifically. I'm
saying
but
like most schools, like
I don't buy
like Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State has had the same coach for almost 20 years.
They've never won anything.
Oklahoma hasn't won a national championship in God knows when.
Yeah, but they've been to the playoffs. I mean, that's kind of like saying Georgia hasn't. Okay. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't think that's abnormal anymore. I think when you're a coach, you understand that right now it is definitely a microwave society.
If you keep this is again, coaches can understand it all day. As an administration, if I'm in the SEC, certain schools like Clemson maybe looks like it's doable. But if I'm in the SEC and I'm in the SEC West, and I got a decent coach that's getting me good recruiting classes, that's being competitive, that's just not getting drummed, I know what Saban is during this time. I'm not saying don't go out there and beat him, but like I know that Saban's not going to coach till he's 100 years old. I got to pray that it's within the next 3 to 4 years. Yeah. Like you got to give patience, and if you don't.
But in the same breath, and I'm not saying this to be argumentative, this is a conflict in my head. In the same breath, you said that people have to give to their school. Like you have to support, you have to give to your school. But fans aren't patient, period. Right. Like it's not. Right. And so administrations can't be patient because they're relying on those donor dollars. I think it's crazy to give money to a football program.
That's bigger.
I mean, that to me seems weird.
What I would do is this,
like, especially football programs that are getting checks from conferences and TV ratings and all that. I think it's crazy.
Should just really just come together and just salary cap it.
Just do the NFL thing.
Yeah, like I mean, I think you brought it up, like with the coaches, give bonuses, but just say, hey man, we're all coming. Like, I don't know who spends the most, but let's say Alabama spends $70 million a year, right? New conference, new association. 70. You spend up to $70 million a year.
You have to spend 50.
Yeah, low floor. Yep. And if you can do it, you're in.
Yep.
If you can't, get out. But like now, now fans can truly have.
I just think, and maybe it's, you say this all the time. Maybe it's because I'm not a millionaire. Maybe it's because I don't know. I don't have that kind of money. I just always laugh and chuckle when I see an organization who has a $20 million payroll to coach a game, going out to their boosters and asking them for their $70 booster check. Like in my head, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I get it.
You know what I mean?
But that's like, to me, honestly, that's America.
I know.
Like that's America. Like I'm a billionaire. I need your tax dollars so I can become more of a billionaire. Like that's America. Like, so that doesn't bother me, but like I do, like I like where I'm at right now. I have my season tickets,
Mm-hmm.
give a little bit of bonus booster thing. I personally think I have a max.
What I'll do is I actually like the exchange.
I think what I would do, I'm not giving any more money. Like, you ain't getting no more money out of me. But what I will do is if I make enough, I will endow a scholarship for one of the players, which is different. No, I'm just saying, like, that to me, like, that's a
scholarship for my own damn kid. Like,
well, my kid is gonna go to school. Like, either he's.
I'm gonna endow a scholarship.
I didn't pay for college. My mama didn't pay for college. He ain't paying. Like, we're not paying for their college. Like, you either got to figure it out, or you know.
I got you. Like, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but see, like, I think
that's more of a personal thing. Yeah. I know. Let's say it's 35,000, whatever. I know exactly where that's going. I used to have to write a letter to the person who endowed my scholarship at the end of the year. I could develop a relationship with it. It becomes my child. I own it. Like, for the most part, I'm not giving you. And you're $20 million.
You're doing the whole $1 a day feeds a kid thing, man. What I'm saying for a college,
I'm not giving $20 million to a state-run institution, like that's like, or even if it was private. I'm not giving that kind of, like. I don't care if I have it. Like, that's just a lot.
I get this ticket thing. I even get the, if you want to sit here, it's going to take $1,000 a year donate. I get that because there's an exchange. I'm getting something, but to just flat out write a check. So I get a sticker that says I'm a booster. I don't know, man. That seems, college football is weird, bro. It is really weird. Like, college football, the only way you're winning at college football is if you're the actual school and you're getting that bigger check each year. Like, outside of that, and I know coaches are making a ton of money. It is a terrible lifestyle for the most part, because what y'all see is only the head coach and the offense coordinators. You don't see the 20 people doing all the real work that's, working for next to nothing to try to get the opportunity to win the lottery to be those other coaches. Like, you don't see, you see, Anthony signing name, image, likeness deals even these days, but you don't see the other 90 kids on that don't get anything and is out there rehabbing injuries every single time. The only person that wins every single time are the conferences and the schools. That's it. That's it. Because the fans, if you're not an Alabama fan, you're pissed off all the time. I mean, Georgia fans, my gosh, I don't think they're going to, but if they were to lose and not win a natty, oh my gosh, Georgia fans are going to need a 1-800 number.
They'll lose it. I think, like, I guess, like, I get the excitement of Georgia fans now, but I don't, like, I wasn't a lot, like, you haven't won since 80. Like, why are you so pressed?
Stetson Bennett. Think about his life the next month. Stetson Bennett's next month is either going to make it to where he don't have to ever work in the state of Georgia.
Right.
He's
going to be the most hated.
He just have to move.
Right.
Like, that's literally what this is for him.
Like, why? And I guess I've seen it on different ends. So I didn't grow up a Florida State fan. I grew up in Tallahassee, but I didn't grow up a Florida State fan. I didn't go to the FSU game until I was being recruited.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up going to games at FAMU. And FAMU has they probably have the richest tradition of any HBCU outside of Grambling, but that was years ago with Eddie Robinson. But, like, they've got multiple iconic coaches. They're the only black college to win a national Division I AA national championship. They've gone many runs, blah, 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 all these different things. It's great. But you go to actually enjoy the game and not just, like, what's in between the yard marks, like the band, the tailgating, all the, like, really going to an HBCU game is like going back in time to probably what everybody else remembers what they actually liked about college football. The bowl games for HBCUs are the classics. They play 4 of them every year. And people travel and go on the road and do all these different things. I think the problem is most people haven't realized that, they won that. Like, you don't win. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not trying to be like, but I'm like, you need to understand, like, you love your college and you love everything else around it. Like, it's a lot of fun going. We've watched the shittiest Florida State Florida game probably that we've seen in a while. But we had a good time hanging out with the people who were there.
That's cool. That's dope. I'm going to tell you, there's something you do that every time you do it, like I literally want to like sneak up on you and put you in a headlock. You do this thing where you tell people, you did it the other day, that this coach or this university got you out of a bad situation and changed your life. No, that's bullshit. That did not happen.
My skill set.
You did it. They didn't lift a weight.
No.
They didn't break a whatever bones you broke. They didn't do any of that. In fact, they made money off of you doing that.
Without a doubt.
If they wouldn't have done it, another school would have done it.
Now, I also say this, why I believe in paying athletes, because my degree isn't worth the sheet of paper that it's printed on.
Correct.
I believe what I say the university, and you're correct. I would say that exact same spiel if I went to Georgia. I would say the exact same spiel if I went to LSU. I literally eat off of Florida State fans. Like, it's legitimate. Like, it's like when the fifth quarter, when we started that up, we give FSU information. Like, that's Florida fan. Well, there are some that buy the troll, but for the most part, that is 2,000 FSU fans that pay $5 a month. So that's what I mean by the university.
But you know what? If it was as easy as just playing at Florida State, then half of the people you went to school with wouldn't be broke and homeless right now.
Well, no, they
like
also,
you had to do things. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure Bob Bowden was a great mentor, and I'm not not saying anything bad. What I'm saying is, I'm just tired of people saying using the thing. Well, you know, we shouldn't pay them because look at their life after this. Dude, you got to work just as hard.
I 100% understand what you're saying. It's the same thought process to where people say, like, remember there was a millionaire who was encouraging kids not to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'll give you what would, because the theory was the energy that you're willing to put into college. If somebody just gave you that money, you would be successful in life. For some people.
Well, I mean,
it's
I can look at me. I didn't go.
Right. So I mean, I understand. Like,
if I had gone, would things have been easier earlier? Yes. Would I be doing what I'm doing now? No.
Right.
And I wouldn't be.
That's also what I understand. Like, I went with a plan, with an understanding. I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
Most people, and I did not care how it happened. I never wanted to play 10 years in the NFL. I just wanted to go. I just knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just knew I wanted to make money. I wanted to control my own destiny. When I went there, I met the boosters who were making all kinds of money, I volunteered and did stuff so that people could see that. I learned how to freaking talk. Like, you gotta learn. It's a lot of things that. So when I say those things, like, I probably could have got that somewhere.
That's where you chose to go during those impressionable times.
Yeah, I didn't get. I damn sure wasn't getting it from Florida High, from my high school, and my mom tried, but she wasn't as impressionable as the neighborhood. It was either that or I really truly believe. Now, I would have flamed out, because everybody flames out. Everybody goes. There's one thing that's the most consistent thing that I try to tell these kids who love streets and all this other thing. The only consistent things are death and jail. There's way smarter people that have been doing this, made a lot more money, and they're all either dead or in jail. But I would have probably been incredible up until 23. Like, I would have really applied myself. I would have really went all out, and I would have been on American Gangster. That would have been my new goals. But I'm grateful that didn't happen, because there's longer money. My point is that you're right, and I 100% understand that. But I think, that same fan that I kind of think is what will push your university over the top, like the NIL deal. Like, that's like, so with George, like I told people all the time, like, man, I was really hoping for him to get this next, because it would have been the sales would have went even bigger. But I hope Ant is making money. I think I even put Ant needs to get the 4th and 21 shirt.
Dude, Ant's,
or whatever.
Yeah, Ant's fine.
But like, those fans
buy
the Jordan Travis shirt. Buy this. Like,
buy it if you want it. Like, and that's the thing is, like, if what Jordan Travis found out and what Anthony Richardson has found out, because he's put a good team around him that I'm not part of, by the way, is if you put stuff out that people want and you have the platform to let them know you have what they want, you're going to make money. It's just the way it is. But I don't. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get Green Acres real quick. Green Acres. Hopefully one of our listeners won the AR-12 over Black Friday.
Hopefully went and bought those. Like, if nothing else, that
AR-15 says Christmas more than going and loading up on guns. Give yourself a Christmas gift
on Christmas Day, or whatever Michael Jackson and the boys saying.
Get over to Green Acres. Give yourself a great Christmas gift. Maybe you need some new fishing gear, or maybe you need a knife or boots.
Dude, you
or
always
whatever.
need a knife.
We don't need a knife. Everybody needs a knife.
So utility, you can use it. You could cut an apple, cut a rope, cut a person.
It's multi-use.
Brakes.
Kilos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all kinds of stuff you can do with the knife. Get to Green Acres over off of Normandy Boulevard, or go to greenacresporting.com. Maybe you want to get your concealed carry. They offer classes every day of the week. Get to greenacresporting.com for that. I don't really have a hate o'clock other than the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, that's a good one.
Period. Like
that's solid.
Jeez, man. The problem with the Jaguars has become that none of us know what we're watching, or what we're supposed to be seeing, or what's supposed to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's literally just a whole building full of people that blame other people there every single week. And now, like, we were blaming incompetence, and now we have a coach that gets up and is like, well, don't ask me, ask the offensive coordinator why James Robinson wasn't in. I mean, it's just like, it's frustrating. It's super frustrating. I watched 90% of the game yesterday, which was more than I've watched in a while, because I felt like I kind of needed to. I didn't think Trevor played bad. I saw people tweeting out like that was Trevor's worst game. I was like, huh? I don't know. I didn't think that. It just looked super vanilla. It looks like an offense that you don't really have to get out of your base defense to address, especially when James Robinson's not in.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like an offense that your 9 guys, surface guys, are better than their 9 surface guys, than our 9 surface guys, I should say. And it's like, you kind of need something to happen for you to win. Like, if you line it up, and football is a game of individual matchups, right? So if you were to line it up with our guys and their guys 10 times, 7 of those times they would win. And so if you're the Jaguars, you have to take so much advantage of the 3 times that you actually win, and you have to know the person that's going to win that play, and everything has to line up, that it's just hard to sustain anything. You can get a rhythm, you can make a couple good throws, you can have a play call here or there that works, but over the long term, over a 12-play drive, like, that's not going to work, because 12 of those plays, the defense is going to win 8 plays. So you're going to need a penalty. You're going to need something that keeps your drive alive. And it's like beating your head up against the wall as a fan, because when you realize that, you realize, well, we just suck. Mm-hmm. At the end of it, everything, we're being out coached, we're being outplayed. They've got better talent. We've got everything. The only thing that we have to hang our hat on is 16. That's literally it. And if he doesn't work, then what the hell are we going to do? Like, that seems to be the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really easy to one person to blame. I mean, 16. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy Jordan DeLugo's tweets, and I can't think of the lady the girl who puts up all the football breakdown and analysis. She does a good job. I'm not even gonna try to get Cam Newton in this situation. She does just talk about the embracing the physicality of running routes. So she's already ahead of most.
Is it Lori? Is that her name?
Lori? Yeah, Lori. Yeah. But I really do like the fact that she literally takes clips and puts it up there. But I do think that they live in this world where Trevor does absolutely no wrong. Like you go and get these advanced analytics that show well, really, when you look at it this way and this way, about Trevor was really 100% on that drive. Like, no, threw it to the other team. Like, I don't give a damn what happened. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't give a damn if he thought it was, like, for example, the flag where we were in, I heard Fred actually break this down, where Marvin Jones is trying to tell him we're in an illegal formation, but he's up against it with the play clock. And instead of anybody calling a timeout, which you may not have, we decided to throw an interception thinking we got somebody to jump. But even where he threw it, it wasn't an opportunity for our guy to get the ball. He threw it to the other person. And that's just that's not what you do in free play mode. Like, I can see if you just chunk it deep and then like it's a one-on-one thing and we lose. That wasn't what that was. But I look back, and the reason why I blame one person is because this one person is responsible for this team. I've continuously said, I believe last year the Jags competed. They competed to get Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
I don't believe that they're a true one-win football team. We can use your record all you want. I believe if you would have kept Gardner in there like we should have, done some other things, you probably are going to win 4 or 5 games. Still not very good. But you went and you gutted a lot of this stuff. You didn't bring in anything else. You're acting like the salary cap is rollover minutes. I'm not saying spend all of it, but you had plenty of money to be able to go in and spend to make this team better. You got rid of an entire scouting department, and you came in and you treated this like it was a college, and not even a well-run college team. You treated this like it's Temple. You didn't treat this like it's Ohio State or any of these other places, because you're better than this. You command a level of excellence that, just from a coaching perspective, at every level that you've been at, that you're not commanding here. You know what? You brought in Little Walker. Not saying he's good. I don't really know. But I do know, and I'm not even saying he can play right tackle. But I'm suggesting that Juwan Taylor has fucked up enough to where we know he doesn't need to be out there. He's a hazard. The play where everybody blames the running back for not – the running back who I like him. He was at the draft party, the African kid. The Gabanjo, different African kid, which is crazy.
That one was not at the –
that is crazy. How do you keep drafting these names that can't nobody pronounce? Like, first and foremost, get names that I can pronounce.
James wanted to go in on him because then he thought he's a friend of the program, and now he's not.
Give me some names I can pronounce. How about that?
It's just a different African.
Okay. And I don't even know, whatever he is, I know he ain't white. The kid, yes, he should have caught it. Yes, Trevor could have probably led him a little bit because it's very difficult as a running back to do that. I'm about to get to it. Now, you got to get your head around. The first thing they teach you when you're doing combine training is that the ball, when you get out your break, the ball is going to be there. I learned a valuable lesson that way.
True.
Fuck all that. Look at Juwan Taylor on that play. I am not exaggerating. Juwan is on. I retweet. He literally stands up. Like, he might have raised his hand, but he didn't block a soul. That's why Trevor got pressure on him. I'm sitting here like, what the hell are you doing? Like, bro, like, even if you don't know your assignment, you know when the ball is snapped, you're supposed to kick slide. You didn't even kick slide. You just literally stood straight up. This is an NFL game. This ain't I-9. Like, when I see stuff like that happens, that lets me know that the culture has completely changed in NFL football, probably more so just in the Jags. Because that happens when I was playing. Hell, that happens when I was playing in high school. The little projector thing that we still watch. They are going back and forth looking at that. Son, what the Mr. Go 30 in your ass? What the hell were you thinking like that? It's just going in. It's like plays like that aren't supposed to happen in the NFL. Did you see him just? Am I exaggerating that he just stood up?
He was never down. Like, he was standing up the whole time. Why is he standing up?
Thank you.
No, look, before the ball, look, before it's even snapped, he's just standing there. Everybody else is down in the stance. He looks like a third receiver. And then you hit play and he just don't move.
To top it off,
he's high.
Is it him or Cam?
I've seen that before.
He
didn't know where he was at. He was like me on Thanksgiving.
He keep lining up in the backfield.
I wasn't high.
Wrong. Like, it's just a lot of stuff. Like Cam. Like I said it before when I defended Mia O'Brien. I don't want to see this shit where you're mad and you try to go intimidate the 4'11", 85-pound sport reporter. Go intimidate somebody on the other side of the field. Like, you guys are all big and bad and all this other stuff. And it is our fault. Not mine, because I've never been like that. But you guys most of you media gassed them up all off season. You jiggled Urban's balls, and you did all of this other stuff, and he was Urban's.
Oh, Urban.
You juggled him, and you made sure it was okay, and this is going to be the greatest. And like, dude, rough him up a little bit. I know you're trying.
You can go to that play, and you can rough him up even more, because even with all of that, if he wouldn't have been punishing James Robinson for something so elementary as a fumble, it would have been a touchdown because James Robinson catches that.
That's what I'm saying. So forget the fact that the guy who's never been in that position is there.
Yep.
Forget the fact that for some reason, unbeknownst to me, you keep trying Carlos Hyde's ass out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like one fumble.
How are you going to punish that when you're allowing that? When you're allowing
that's like what I don't.
You should have just said, you know, we're not coming out for the second quarter. Whole team's punished.
Yeah. What I don't, I just don't understand. Like the silly,
we got the wrong African guy out here.
Like, dude, over and over again. Like, no wonder your director of football, the director of football bounced on your ass. He knows, he sees the writing on the wall too. It's about to happen, guys. I don't really care. I actually hope. I don't know. It's going to be appendicitis because he's already used his head and his heart. He's got to use something else at this point. Diabetes. I don't know. Something's about to hurt Urban. And he's just tuning us up.
He tried to get out on the bye week. I mean,
and it's Shad, but that's because Shad's
literally
too cheap.
Filling up a 19-year-old.
Shad's too cheap to get rid of him, man. It's like, and I don't necessarily fully blame him because this is what we were told was supposed to be.
I'm actually not ready to give up on Herbs yet. I want to give him another season. Like I do. I want to give him a full off season. I want him to learn his hard lessons, and I want to believe that excellence translates. So I want to give him another season.
I just want to know who would be, because the same thing I was saying, and this is where I will defend Trevor. Because one thing Trevor will do is try to throw that bit.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and you shouldn't, but he's going to try to throw
hold
it.
on.
Like, but who is he going to throw it to? Is what I'm really trying to tell people.
But he got away from that for a few weeks and just checked everything down. So in this past week, that's what I was saying. I didn't think he played. I would rather see that Trevor than the Trevor I've seen the last 5 weeks.
No, the Trevor.
I'd rather see the guy taking shots. He continues to show how athletic he is.
That's what I'm saying. That Trevor, like to me, when Chris Porter asked me on First Coast News yesterday, James, what do we need to see? Like it's pretty evident. Like I don't want him to get his block knocked off, but the only time our offense is moving is when he's moving.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying keep running the zone read, but rollouts, boots, like things like that.
Visca's my boy. Like I love Visca. But doesn't it seem like every single week we're questioning whether or not he ran the right route? Like at some point, somebody's got to know.
Yes.
At some point, somebody's got to go, yeah, you know what? Visca, you're punished.
You know, there's this
we've got another African guy on the practice squad.
There's this saying. You're either coaching it or you're allowing it. So at this point, he running the right damn route. If you keep letting him go out there and we keep questioning if he's running the wrong damn route, or just put his ass at running back. Like,
well, that's the better plan.
Like,
there.
He's big enough.
We saw it yesterday with the Falcons. What happens? Like, I mean, by the way, you know what other thing? Yeah, you know what other thing really kind of made me scratch my head and go, "Oh, we're in trouble." And he's my boy. But when James O'Shaughnessy can come back after being off for 9 weeks and he looks like your best offensive player, that's not saying a whole lot about the other offensive players.
I think it's just the position. Our best offensive player is our tight end. Whatever tight end is in. Remember, it was Calvin Klein or whatever the kid's name was that everybody picked on for dropping it the week one. It was a rookie. Again, another person who had never been in that position.
Calvin Klein?
I don't know what his name is. His name is one of them, Abercrombie and Fitch. It was something like some kind of.
You talking about Hollister?
Thank you. It was Hollister. Hollister. There it is. Same thing. It was one of them white brands. Like,
now it's Costco.
Hey, Aeropostale was going to be my next guest, man. Who was the one I used to Nautica? Like something. The
fact that I got us there after that, I don't.
The Tommy Hilfiger cap. But the point is,
I know. I think Calvin Ridley. Like
he's over there throwing it to him because he's the only person open.
Oh man,
this is where we can use a Mercedes. Yeah. Because remember Mercedes when how he got open? Yep. People just forgot he was there. He was so slow.
He's still doing it.
It's the benefit of being old sometimes.
On a real talk though, you better fix this stuff next year before you do ruin Trevor.
I agree.
Like he shows you enough, like that one drive.
Mm-hmm.
he shows you enough that you go, okay, there's like maybe 5 people in the league that can do what he just did. But you let him keep going through this for 2 years and see what happens. Like you better get enough help to where he is rewarded for some of the chance. There's no such thing as a 50-50 ball with the Jags, bro.
No.
It is a 90-10 ball 50, the other way.
To get a 50-50 ball, you have to
you got to have a
swing your way.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's like everything's a 50-50 ball with the Jags. And when it's supposed to be an easy completion, but when was the last time you saw one of our guys just go up and get it?
Let me ask you. So Baltimore, did Baltimore end up winning that game?
They did.
Right. Doesn't matter how crappy Lamar plays.
He played pretty crappy.
Yeah, it was.
That looked like a Florida State game, by the way.
They're 8-4.
Mm-hmm.
They have an identity on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Good, bad, ugly. We know what we're getting from the Ravens.
And they've gone through 4 running backs with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
what is the Jags' identity on offense?
Suck. That's easy.
I'm just saying, like, you just don't have. There's not like, and again, and the identity is when something good is happening, we have to change it. Like, again, James Robinson is the one bright spot you have.
Think about this.
Oh, good, he fumbled. Now I have an excuse to suck.
I was just about to say, think about this. The NFL, you literally can shoot somebody on Thursday and play on Sunday. Like, if you're the best player, you can do whatever you want, except for the Jags. And if you put the ball on the ground, we're going to bench you.
I think it's
Urban Meyer has had people shoot somebody and he's played them.
I just talked about that.
Like, and you're going to punish a guy for one fumble that costs you the game?
That was funny when I was talking. Me and Freddie interviewed a Mob Black, and we were just talking about, like, what was it like with all those goons and those killers? He was like, they would tell us, guys, please just come back. please don't let anything go crazy.
Anything else happen that we missed?
I'm gonna just give one little hate o'clock.
Oh, okay.
I'm starting to become like you.
Oh,
I hate people.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's more people should be like me.
And their willingness to freely give opinions that nobody asked for. Like, and it's just multiple, and then but not be an expert in it. So,
oh geez, now you're talking about my social media every time I put a kid throwing up. Everybody tells me,
definitely
what they're doing wrong.
You did it wrong.
Yeah,
but just like I put up I love shoes. You're getting out of the shoes, but you still have them.
Jordan's getting me right.
I just really
some of the stuff they're putting out right now.
RIP to Virgil. I don't know how to say your last name. I'm not going to say it, but he makes the off-white shoes.
Okay.
My ignorance in the beginning, because the only shoe I saw was technically off-white.
Right.
So I thought all the shoes were off-white. I didn't realize that was the name of the brand until I got into shoes, and I own a few pairs. One of the pairs in particular.
You own off-whites?
I wore some. I wore some last night.
All right.
That's not the one that was the high value. The Chicago Reds. Like, basically he has the Jordan ones. I just go on StockX to go look at how much these are valued at now.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying $8,000. Ain't nobody paying that. If they do, if you want to pay $8,000, I got a pair for you. I didn't pay $8,000 for them. Paid well below that for them.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I'm like, should I sell these bad boys or should I sit on them? So I got some friends who are saying that. Then a guy comes on my page, like, I like shoes. I'm going to buy shoes. I buy stock, I buy crypto. I just wish more of our black men would invest in crypto and stop buying these shoes. I'm like, what in the hell? I said, bro, I'm losing money in crypto right now. I got about a $7,500 markup right now.
Black guy?
Black guy, yeah.
Okay.
$7,500. Like, I ain't got that shit in crypto right now. Crypto lost me a good bunch of money right now. I mean, technically, I made it, but what it was, it's down. So, like, I'm like, why can't I say, dude, there's a whole culture of investment in shoes. You just say you don't know about it.
How old was this guy?
I have no idea, but I'm assuming pretty old, and for how he was talking and lecturing me. I'm like, you just don't understand this, and that's what you should say. so that now you get educated on it. And then there's like, then what happens? The worst thing I hate, because I'm doing mine concise. I treat everything like Twitter. If I can't get it in 240 characters, then I don't need to say it. Like, I come and I see on IG, I'm like, man, I'm not reading.
Same guy?
Yeah, same. Like, just this lecture. And I'm like, nah. But then that, and then
we should have read it live on air.
No, because then I would have to, like, that's a lot of reading, man. I'm not in college anymore. I refuse to read that much. I'm actually refusing to read now.
These are the same people, though, that, and I'm not saying this, this guy may be a great guy. I'm just saying, if you look at advice of elders throughout history, it's never really gone well. Seek counsel from wise people.
Right.
Like, not people, right. Wise people.
But when somebody's like, the whole premise of the post, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't even about buying $8,000 sneakers. It was about flipping the sneakers. So I'm saying it was about investment into something. I say most people just don't understand it because they're buying the old man get off my lawn New Balances, not the new, because New Balances have some sneakers that I won't wear them, but that get a heavy ticket. But
I like the New Balances
right now.
I like them, but
that's not even,
like 3 people right now that I go to for legit advice. Literally 3 people, and it's not based on their level of success or how old they are. It's based on what they have done in their life. Like, if I want advice on social media, I have a guy that I go to because he's not rich, but he does really well with social media. He's grown platforms. I'm not going to go to my dad, who I consider to be a very wise person, and ask them about social media.
That's what I meant by you're choosing wise counsel. Basically, experts in things. Now, if I want to go mudding, I'm sure Pops got a lot more advice than mudding. Yeah. But Pops has a ton of good advice for stuff. And I posted this because it wasn't just that. It's like also just talking about like fans with sports. Like, it's just one little, like, you don't know football if you don't think this is better. And so I'm just telling people, well, shit, I just don't know football anymore. Like, even though I've forgotten more football.
Well, we both have jobs though where people think that, like, especially the quarterback world. Do you know how many DMs I get of, I played football in high school. Okay.
But
cool.
So my
cool
point,
story, bro.
Like, this is what I had to say to somebody. So I got a friend, AT, incredibly smart guy. He because everybody right now is the Kevin Sumlin, Jimbo Fisher debate at Texas A&M. People still doing the Willie Taggart, Mike Norvell. And the reality is Mike ain't going nowhere. Mike shouldn't go anywhere. Shouldn't fire a coach that early. And it is getting better. That being said, based upon what the administration said before Mike came in, Mike is not living up to the standards that they set and those things. And it's an argument back and forth. And my man, I'm talking about, like, it was like, and I only knew about it because somebody else responded. And I told AT this. And I'll say this to him in his face and anybody else. I told him I'm not going to go back and forth in tweets with him because he uses entirely too many words. I said, we'll have to have this conversation in person. If I want, he's a really good financial planner. Phenomenal financial planner. I won't walk in his office because I watched something on CNN or I watch a lot of stuff because I'm not actively involved in the day.
Well, you didn't tell me that though. You didn't tell me because now he
no. That's a different no.
Oh, okay,
different person.
Okay,
but he's talking about football.
Gotcha.
I'm like, AT, your expertise is financial planning. You watch football for entertainment,
right?
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you can't have an opinion or a good opinion. It just means that, dude, like it doesn't mean you're right. It doesn't make you an expert just because you use a lot of words and you speak with enunciation. Like, that just makes you very well spoken and very well versed.
And annoying.
That too. The same thing like when people said, like, one dude came up there, the person who really made me, he put, like, he's a truck driver. And he's like, well, you don't know football. Like, I've only done football. You're a truck driver. Like, all I know is football. Like, and I'm telling you. By the way,
the way y'all back up those 18-wheelers is impressive.
Well, yeah, I said, like, I won't.
Y'all ever notice? They ever watch that?
They do it. No, they do it. Like, it's crazy.
It's unreal. If I had to make a living doing that, I'd be.
They're driving them like they're Cadillacs.
Yeah.
But I mean, my point with a lot of this stuff is enjoy the product. A lot of this stuff isn't that big of a deal to be getting in arguments with if you're not getting paid for it.
It just hit me though when I said cool story, bro. We may be able to bring that back soon.
Cool story, bro.
You remember the whole Zach Smith?
Yeah. Oh, Tom Herman. Yeah. Hook him.
Yeah.
The only reason I don't think it will happen is because are they a Delta hub?
Herman.
Because if the Gainesville doesn't have flight stewardesses that he can bang, he's not going. Think about all the other places that he can go with hot story. With hot stewardess.
That was one story. That was one story. You don't know. Maybe he's got multiple fetishes.
True. I mean, I don't care. Rex Ryan had feet fetish.
I mean, Tiger didn't only play in tournaments where they were Perkins.
Tiger's fetish is pain. Tiger's so competitive that he's going back to Elon to prove that he didn't.
He had an eventful situation in his life, a life change, and he just realized, can we give Tiger the benefit of the doubt?
I don't care.
See, I would consider
Tiger, you're going to do it again when you get healthy, man.
I would consider, but see,
Tiger. See, that's what made Tiger great.
If I want advice, I'm going to Tiger because Tiger's messed up everything. That man has lived through the pain. Don't give me the guy who's had the perfect marriage. Like, give me Tiger. Tiger, you teach me. Like, I personally think there's wisdom with Tiger.
I would like Mike Tyson, but I can see that.
Well, for the same reasons. For the exact same reasons. Like, I'm not going, I love this guy, but I'm not going to go to Tim Tebow on advice on urges or something. Like, I'm not, because I don't know if he's ever had them. I mean, like, I want
conversely, Tebow, you should come to me for. Never mind.
Well, you know what I mean.
I can help you with some things. Like, you can have
the guy who's been through it, who gave in and came out the other side. Like, I don't need the guy who's either never had them or concealed them really well.
Tebow giving sexual advice to somebody. You should do that. Why don't they bring him as a coach? Why didn't Florida give him a chance?
Just stop. By the way, on that note, Robert Griffin is the worst announcer in the history of announcing. RG3, who said that, is the worst announcer that's ever. You know what?
RG3.
I'm with people. We've got to stop. We got to stop this like whole movement of trying to get minorities jobs, because there's no other reason why he's up there.
Before y'all crush him, he's got a point. Some of these guys are really, really bad. He said, I would normally argue him to death, but when he said,
I've said it. All right, y'all thinking it, I said it. Y'all listen to him. You're like, how did this guy get a job? There you go.
When he said he unleashed the dragon. I was just like, man, dog, I ain't gonna ever get a job. This guy's setting black commentators back 3 decades, man. Ahmad Rashad did not propose to Felicia Rashad on national television for this, man. Like, you know who's really,
that's sad, like, you know who's Scott, he is.
He's another controversial take.
Okay,
and I know people aren't gonna like
just do a segment of this every once a week.
People won't like this, but this is like, I've been really like listening to what he said the last couple of weeks. He said some, like, he's been spot on, man. Like, they're not gonna hire him on ESPN or ABC, but what I'm saying is maybe he should get like a YouTube channel. Like, OJ Simpson has really, really been good with what is football right now. Listen, I get it. He killed a couple people. Like, he was found not guilty on that, and he may have robbed people for his own stuff that he served his time for. All I'm saying is when you listen to his little 2 minutes on Twitter, when he comes in, channel? I don't know if people have told him what YouTube is, but like, it's engaging, it's good.
Twitter, it's like he doesn't know what Twitter is.
Right.
He always starts the video.
Morning, Twitter people. He's just like, what is that? Like, is that part of CT? Like, morning, Twitter.
He has been
Twitter world.
Every single environment that you could possibly get CTE in.
Very true. I know he has. The fact that he's so calm and he's smiling all the time.
dude.
He did it. They're by like. I'm telling you, don't investigate him because I really want him to do the YouTube channel. Investigate any unsolved murder in that prison when he was there. And I guarantee you he did it. Because the way he smiles and the way he laughs.
See, this goes back to my
I'm
wisdom
just saying,
thing, though. This is a guy who appreciates sunlight now because it was taken from him.
Man.
So he's happy. You can't tell him nothing. Like he's been in the depths of hell.
Listen.
Even if he did it to himself,
Right.
now he's out breathing fresh air. Can use soap that is okay. And like it's right. Like he you can't say anything that bothers that guy.
If not giving a fuck was a person, is OJ Simpson right now.
Yeah.
The only thing that would be better is like get a. Never mind, I'm not gonna say that. Let's go ahead.
All right.
Before we say before.
If anybody listened to this, would be canceled. But we're good. All right, we gotta get out of here. Get to thehumidor.com for all of your cigar needs. Type in sportsden, all lowercase, all one word. Apparently, we're not ending. You get 20% off. No, what is it? Do we need to address something?
No, it's great. Great. This is my son's PE teacher at school.
Awesome. That's awesome. James got the branding at the elementary schools. All right, we're out of here. Y'all have a good day.